Right, here we go. We've got a bit of a project going on in the museum. We have to do it probably every 4 or 5 years. So we're on the case now. We're looking at some of Miller's trophies that he's won over the years. One of the advantages of having a museum, you can put your trophies on display. Lots of famous riders and all their trophies are up in the roof space, nobody can see them, so really quite proud to be able to put them on display. So here we go, but we'll run through a few. You'd be here for a month if I told you about every one, so I think what you got to take on board here, how many miles Miller rode in each to win each one. You get 𝘁𝗵𝙀𝙧𝙚, so that was like 1,000 miles in 6 days, so I couldn't do it now, but it's serious stuff. These are basically all Scottish, except those which are Gold Cup, the 𝘁𝗵𝙀 Gold Cup, the British experts. And they used to present you with a gold miniature. You find in the early days the trophies were far better quality than the plastic ones you get today, like that one there. So Miller's been lucky to have quality trophies. Of all the trophies, this little one here, the 𝘁𝗵𝙀 Novice Award, that's #1. So that's the start of all this lot. So young Miller, 17, built his SHS, prepares the bike, and of course it's at Randallstown, which is north west of Belfast, 50 miles. So you get yourself ready, no transport in those days, no prima donnas, big fancy transporters. You rode the bike to the event, so you generally had to take a extra gallon of fuel with you, your tools, your gear, and off you went. I remember you do the 50 miles to get there, another 50 miles in the event, and then another 50 miles in the rain coming home. But in those days, it was, you just took it on board. You were so enthused that water or rain didn't really affect you. So that's a 𝘁𝗵𝙀. So these ones here, quite a comprehensive range. That's from Japan. I don't know why they gave Miller a samurai warrior helmet. Could be something, maybe they were getting a bit of a dig at me or something, you know. So that's all quite nice stuff. In the museum, as you see, it'd be nice to have all the trophies in one wall, but we haven't got a wall big enough. So anyway, so we had to split it. But I think this view through here in the gap into the Norton Gallery is spectacular. It's my favourite viewpoint in the museum. Right, that one there, Castrol Trophy, Austria, 𝘁𝗵𝙀 in Tulln. Long way. Got a lot of reception. There was a bit of a story with that one. We arrived late on Friday evening, and Miller thought the trial was on Sunday, so the organisers were beating on Miller's door Saturday morning to get him out, because he was on the event in about an hour's time and he was still in bed. So Miller Didn't have any breakfast. They dragged him out of bed, got him round to the start plots, and I competed, managed to win it. And it was quite an interesting exercise because I rode exceptionally well because I didn't have time to think about anything. And I thought the trial was Sunday, but the organisers told me it was Saturday. So another long way to go. Nice trophy all the way from Austria. That's another continental one there. That's the 𝘨𝙪𝙗 1967 international. The 𝘨𝙪𝙗 was a famous trial, and we managed to succeed with that. Again, quite often in those days we competed in England on this Saturday. The Welsh one day was generally the day before, so can you imagine competing in the Welsh one day trial at Llandudrod, Wales, loading up probably about 4 o'clock, bikes on the back of the pickup still covered in mud, off to Dover. Don't know how we ever did it. Dover, you arrived at Dover about 9 o'clock. We used to know a guy who ran the ferry in those days, and he literally used to keep the ferry back until we arrived. So often the ferry was a bit delayed leaving because Miller and all the rest of the British competitors hadn't got arrived. So we got the boat from Calais, we'd get off the boat and then drive all the way through to Brussels. It was quite near Brussels actually, the 𝘨𝙪𝙗 trial. Probably arrived there at 8:30 in the morning, still not fed, still not warm. Off at 9 o'clock, probably rode all day. I remember they were quite long events, probably finished at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, still a bit bushed. Presentation, head down, Monday morning, on the road again, back along the motorway to Calais and Dover, back home Monday afternoon, Monday night. So, and of course that in your back pocket, so it was always quite good. It's amazing the miles we did, and how we packed 2 events in at a weekend, one in England, one in France, one in Belgium. So those were the days. Right, we've got a couple of trophies here. Not very exciting, but what stories. This one here, that's the Scott trial, which blood, sweat and tears. That was the real bad year. I think there was 170 entries, about 30 finished. Miller was ahead of everybody. And it was one of those days on the big aerial when everything went perfect. Didn't get bogged down, didn't swamp it, didn't crash. Cleaned up most of the sections, and lo and behold, great victory. The headlines were Miller's Scottish Massacre, which I enjoyed quite a bit. One of my 7 Scott wins, you know, so put that one back. And this one here, believe it or not, how many miles do you think Miller did to win that? 200 miles. And that should be a clue. 200 miles, Northwest 200. So that's what you got in 1956 for winning the Northwest 200. 200 miles, blood, sweat and tears. And on the NSU Max, of course. And I think that was the year that Eric Hinton was second to me, and the following year Mike Hailwood was second to me on the NSU. So,
also in '58, a young Belfast man, Sammy Miller, takes on rising English star and future world champion Mike Hailwood.
And in the 250s, Mike Hailwood is just holding off Sammy Miller.
on the last lap coming down into Portrush, I made my move and luckily got past him, and then it was flat out along the coast road, head down, and I managed to get over the line just in front of him.
And Sammy Miller gets the 250cc verdict after a photo finish with Mike Hailwood.
This little section here is quite interesting. TT replicas and gold medals. So if we have a look at some of these here, that's the Ducati, fourth in the 125 race in the Ducati. That was the first year, 58, that Ducati raced in the Isle of Man. Miller was one of the two men. He should have went a bit quicker. He was a rubbish fourth. So I wasn't trying hard enough, but maybe I didn't crash so much either. So this one here will probably be on the CZ, I would think. 250 CZ, yeah, 250 CC, rubbish again. All the times I was leading the TT, the bike gave me trouble. I was leading on the NSU, seized up solid, leading on the Mondial, the gearbox locked up, threw me down the road. So could have done better. Move on to gold medals. These are all quite nice. Gold medals, International 6-day. We've only got 8. You should have tried a bit harder, Miller, and got a few more. But I only rode a 9. 1 broken frame, which expired me, and the rest were gold medals. That was 𝘁𝗵𝙆. That was Czechoslovakia, 𝘁𝗵𝙆. That'll be a Swedish one, Villelunga. That was on the Triumph when I was best British runner. So you go on forever, all the gold medals, but very nice to have. There was 2 types of trophies. There was the Perpetual Trophy and the Challenge Trophy. The Challenge Trophies to Miller were very lucrative, because if you won them 3 times in the trot, you kept them. So Miller won the Allen 3 times on the trot, and lo and behold, the club made another one, and Miller won that 3 times in the trot. So after that, they made it a Challenge Trophy, or a sort of Perpetual Trophy rather than a Challenge. That's the Allen Roads, Cumbria. Bit of a story with those ones too. The Allen was always run on Sunday in February, up in 𝘁𝗵𝙆 near Carlisle, Hadrian's Wall country. But the day before was the 𝘁𝗵𝙀 Cup in Belfast, Clandeboy Estate. So Miller always competed in both because there were national trials and there was bonus there. So win the 𝘁𝗶 Cup on the Saturday on the overnight boat, get off the boat about 6 in the morning, drive up to 𝘁𝗵𝙆, compete in the Allen Trophy, win that, and busy weekend. And again, lots of mileage, really adverse conditions too, but 2 Allen Trophies. This one here, that's the I think that's the Coolmore. That's the 3rd Coleman Trophy. So Miller must have been the 3rd one to win it outright. So you've got some great names on the bottom of the base here, until Miller came along and he won it 3 times in the trot. So those are all the names going right back to 1929, 30, 40. So great names: Billy Nicholson, Jeff Duke, lots of the famous riders. So that's lovely trophy to have. Another one here, I don't know where this one's from. Let's have a look. Vic Britain, that's a prominent trial, the Vic Britain. It used to be a national. That was a good one to win because there was good bonus in that. And although we never got big retainers from the factory, if you organised your own contracts, which I did, I didn't have a manager like all the prima donnas today, so you could get bonus from your oil companies, your petrol companies, your ignition companies, your tire companies, your chain companies. So used to be quite lucrative. So if you were winning a national on the Saturday and a national on the Sunday, you'd double bonus for the weekend, which was good. So we move on. Don't know what this one here is. It looks an American. Presented to Sammy Miller, 1969, Southern California Trials Association. Miller performed out there for a bit. I always quite like this. This is Ute Indian from Colorado Springs, the Ute Cup when Miller won it back in the Bultaco days. So that's a genuine Ute Indian woven presentation, so that was nice. Anyway, to see if you count them up, I think there's only 1,400, which is, but then again, it's not many when you say it was over 30 years, so don't get too downhearted. There we go, another day in paradise. Trophies, all project nearly finished, so get that last cabinet done, another job done, and by that time, lot time might be eased off and we can get a few people in the museum. So I'm back to the workshop, another day in paradise, lots of projects to get on with, so catch up with you next week. Cheers!